Okay, it's 4:02. So I think we should get formally started here and see who gets here later on. I want to formally start the Oceano Advisory Special Meeting today of June 3rd, 2021 at 4:03. And first thing on our agenda here is a roll call. I start with myself, Eileen Villa, Chair, here. Charles Verney,
Here.
April Dury,
Here.
Lucia Casilnovo,
Here.
Sheila Eckert,
Let me call her.
Next on our agenda is a flag salute. Does anyone want to lead? I'm always leading.
Okay. I pledge allegiance. Ready? Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With all.
Okay, next we have public comment for items not on the agenda. Anybody have public comment for items not on the agenda?
No.
Being none, we will go to our new business and the reason for this meeting. And we're going to be discussing the proposed new or second advisory council for Oceano and the budget for 2021, 2022. Does anybody want to start the discussion?
I'd like to just start with just maybe a couple of goals or kind of a timeline. My understanding, so this is kind of checking this out, is that one of the goals we have today, or as a result of this meeting, is to get a letter together to send to the entire Board of Supervisors on Monday, expressing our point of view on an additional advisory council. And also, and I'm not sure exactly what our goal is with regards to the budget, but I know we'll have some discussion of that. And so I would like to suggest as a process that we gather, that during the meeting, we gather together the talking points that we want to make in this letter, and then have a couple of people draft that letter up by tomorrow, hopefully by tomorrow at the end of the day, and distribute it to everybody for review. And then over Saturday, we hopefully get it finished off with a little extra time on Sunday if we need it. And then it's ready to go on Monday as a time frame. So that I would say that's what I'm suggesting as a way of doing the work.
Anybody else? I think that's one of our main goals. That's what you just suggested, Charles, is that we need to let all the board know, express to them how we feel about the second council and what we want them to rule. In other words, we want them to pull it from the agenda, discuss it, and vote to get rid of, not approve it. We need to be clear about that.
Oh, yeah. Pull it from the consent agenda first of all. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's the first ask. Yeah.
Yes. Pull it from the and not approve it. Not approve it because why? Because there is no reason to have a second council. because the current council has done nothing wrong. So there is not reason to replace it, to get rid of it, or to have another one. Really, I mean, tell us what we've done wrong.
Well,
That
I
should
would,
be stated.
personally, I wouldn't frame it as we're children and they're adults scolding us and what we've done wrong.
Right.
We're fully functioning adults working within the capacity that we've been chosen by our peers to participate and contribute to. And at no point have we ever been admonished or guided a different direction by our district supervisor in our behaviors or our decisions or our anything.
Excellent point there, April.
So if this is supposed to be punitive, it comes across as retaliatory for one. And for two, it's completely an utter duplication of what we do with a true special interest tilt to it, because it's only about the dunes, literally. There's nothing they would do is different than what we do for more of our personal dollars. To fund them is our dollars. To create another website, to take another meeting that county staff have to participate in, to cover the very same topics that are within our purview and that we do, is an utter duplication of time and money of ours, of literally us, the taxpayers.
Excuse me, have you seen that Shayla is trying to get into the meeting? Did you see the message?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
see the message?
I just
Post?
no, I didn't.
It said, I'm trying to get in. Shayla.
She's in there.
Oh, Sheila?
No, that's Celia. No,
Oh,
I'm not.
Celia.
I mean, Sheila.
I understand. Sheila is in the meeting.
Yes,
Okay, I
you
didn't
know, I
hear.
tried to join from the website. It wouldn't let me. I
Okay,
don't know how I got here, but I'm here.
Okay,
okay.
Okay.
so that was, so instead of saying, tell us what we did wrong, I would like to rephrase it in a different way, as to not be a parent talking to a child.
No, I just meant,
I understand what you mean. I'm just saying, that if
'cause
we
obviously-
change our paradigm.
in the
That's-
article, in the New Times article, it says that the Compton said that she received the phone calls from people who complained that we have not listened to their voices. Well, I suppose that's what we did wrong, or what they think we didn't. And I'm going to say that's a lie. We had a perfectly democratic public meeting. People expressed their opinions. We listened. There was a motion. The motion passed. We sent our recommendation. We sent to our support to the Coastal Commission. That's democracy. Now, they don't like that, so they go out and make a new council. That I think that it's such an anti-democratic choice, such an anti-democracy behavior. Because if we don't like what a body, what an agency has voted, if I am in the minority, I just accept it and trying to change it, right? From within, from inside. I don't go out and create a counter organization. So they have the right to organize themselves, to call it whatever they want. I think it's great. And they have the right to send letters to the commissions and to the county. They should not be called the Ocean Advisory Council, and they should not be funded. There's only one Ocean Advisory Council, and that's the one that has been meeting for 25 years. And there are 6 empty chairs. And if they want change things, they apply and they come into this council and they behave like democratic citizens. That's all.
I completely agree with you, Lucia. At one time, this council was very different.
Yes.
And
And-
it changed because people, they applied, they were accepted. And through the years, it's changed. Before, it was majority of them business owners and whatnot, it's changed. Majority of them probably were pro Otis VRA, And we all, through the years, it was a slow process. Majority of us are not now.
But
Not
that
to
is
say we can't
literally a
accept.
blip on our radar for all the things that an advisory council gives advice on. That topic has come up one time,
Right.
once. That's it. And the OAC's role in it truly is just Pier Avenue and the redevelopment of that area once the dunes close. Which is within our purview. We're not taking on anything outside of the scope of what the OAC is about.
Mhm.
Well, the OAC has, we've had discussions about what is the scope, and it includes issues that impact the community.
Yes.
And certainly the plans of the state park for uses of, the beaches and all of that, I think are things that we can comment on. To kind of get focused in terms of like, I'm kind of thinking of like major points of the letter that then we would be elaborating examples underneath. And so what I have, so first one is the notion of, that a second advisory council in a community is a bad idea. And so that people have articulated a number of things there. And I think there are a number of other things as well. But it's what a horrible precedent it would be. Is Los Osos community now going to have a group of people coming in to set up another advisory council because they have a special interest and now they want to be an advisory council? And the double impact of the economy on all of that. And then secondly, the whole notion that the OAC has not been basically inclusive, has not represented the community, has not respected other people's opinions. And I think that we can very clearly articulate how we do that. I mean, very specifically Linda Austin left the OAC because her organization did not meet criteria for membership and never had, and we had to enforce the bylaws.
But she could have reapplied as an at-large member.
Yeah, certainly she could
She
have.
chose not to.
Right. We have been announcing at our OAC meetings, announced at OCSD meetings, posted in Nextdoor that we are looking for new members of the community. We want to be inclusive, and we want a diverse points of view. And we've been doing that for months. I have specifically outreached, and I have the evidence to back it up in the emails to the owner of the Rock and Roll Diner, to the owner of Old Juan's Cantina, that I would love them to attend our meetings, to participate. I encourage them to apply for membership on.
We did as well when they came the one time ever. We said that to them then too. Yes.
Right. So in terms of the notion, in fact, I think to Lucia, your notion of kind of a democracy and participating in dialogue, civil dialogue, differences of opinions. The way you do that is you come in under the tent and sit around the table, and we have reasonable discussion, and we can have reasonable differences of opinion. But to get rid of the people we don't like and put up a new group, because I don't believe Lynn Compton. She seems to have indicated she's not going to provide any funding to us, which would mean it would be more challenging for us to continue. But we are the only formally authorized advisory council on the books, and we have been fulfilling our duties like no other version of the Oceano Advisory Council, I think, has done in history. And if we get our website up, everybody will be able to see that.
So I believe Janice has her hand up.
I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm enjoying the discussion, and my comment at the beginning was that I think this new advisory council is simply an attempt to make it a partisan, really clearly define partisan sides.
Mhm.
And this new council is for the things that this instead of working together, you guys said it all. And that was my thought though. Okay, thank you for calling on me.
Lucia?
Yes, I can't find the raise hand question.
I can see you.
Yes, I want to read you from the handbook. I want to read for everyone, whoever is listening, a very wonderful last paragraph from the handbook of the county. What it says, within the community advisory councils, the most basic of all values is people helping people and in the process helping their communities. Nevertheless, we are not so naive not to understand that tensions and criticism can arise for numerous reasons between the volunteers on an advisory council and those who come before them on business. Differences of opinions and ideas occur frequently, but in the final analysis, the councils, your forthright comment as made for the good of the community. We look forward to receiving your comments as we deliberate and make decisions on projects affecting your community. So it's obvious, it's normal, it's already assumed that there are going to be criticism, there is going to be tension, but we need to stick with it and we need to figure it out. And so that's all. Thank you for listening.
I wonder if Celia Ruiz, Miss Ruiz, did you want to share any points of view here so far? You'll have to unmute yourself if you want to talk. I guess not. Okay.
She might not know that there's an icon. There's an icon on your phone or computer at the bottom. And you have to click on it so that you get there's a microphone, it should be red.
Little red microphone. And
There you go. There you go, Celia.
she's
She's unmuted.
No, she's muted.
I've asked her.
Oh,
to
sure.
And Lucia, the raise your hand thing is under reactions.
Let me see. Oh, got it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, are you, Charles, making a list of the things that we are going to address in this letter?
Yeah, I'm making some quick notes here.
So, okay. Yeah.
I have a question for everybody, and I don't have it in front of me. And I don't know, I can't remember if April, you made the comment, but their map that they include, and it says that doesn't it say in their narrative that they're representing the SVRA?
Yes.
That area.
That's
That area. Okay, well, so nobody lives there. It's
No,
not
but
part of
people-
OCSD, is it?
No.
Some people own some property there.
Yes. Did you see the attachments, the email with the attachments I sent you?
Yes.
No. Okay, because that explains very well, because I knew there would be confusion. There are some property owners, yes, there are in La Grande tract, which is the 500 acres between the preserve and the true and only real SVRA, the La Grande tract. There are some property owners, few private property owners. But the map that they included is a misnomer. It's wrong. That's not the SVRA. The
Okay.
ESVRA, it's 800 acres at the very far south of our beach, completely land bound and that has nothing to do with the beachfront of Oceano. They don't know what the SVRA is. They're wrong. And state parks has been using the same map and the same misnomer to basically cheat and say that they have a jurisdiction over that area, but they don't.
Mhm.
The SVRA is way down there. And I don't even think it belongs to the Oceano district, but probably it does, because it is down there with the, maybe it's Nipomo district. I don't even know.
Maybe it's half Nipomo and half Oceano. Because from looking at this map, it looks like the boundaries are all the way up to Pier Avenue, right? It's like, that's what it
Yeah.
looks like. It's not very clear. It doesn't say Pier Avenue anywhere, but
The map that they include shows between Pier Avenue and the Arroyo Grande Creek.
yeah, so it looks like.
That's Pismo State Beach. That's
Mhm.
not ASV. That's the Oceano Dunes district, which is the legal bureaucratic unit, which is under the jurisdiction of the OHV division, but it's not the SVRA.
Yes, because it would, if SVRA is landlocked, so it would have to show boundaries that are
I sent
landlocked.
you a map from the plan where the SVRA is. Yes. I don't know why they did that. I have no idea why they're saying that they are going to represent the SVRA.
So they're
You're-
calling out the SVRA, maybe they made the mistake. I think what they want to say is that they want control over Pier Avenue.
They want control over Pier Avenue?
I would think that that's all going all the way to Pier Avenue. That's why they're saying that. I don't know. They want to say, they don't want Pier Avenue closed, maybe.
Well, we can sit here and guess all day long.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We have to consider the source of people who don't know how to use the internet, don't live in 2021's modern technology, don't understand the jurisdiction of what an advisory council's role is, calls each other bitches when they are on an advisory council. So let's take all that into consideration when we look at the source. We know what the facts are, so we just need to present the facts.
That's
Right.
Mhm.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Okay. I noticed that on the county staff sheet that went with the agenda item, the
Staff report.
boxes that dealt with economic impact all said not
None.
applicable, that there was
Yep.
no economic impact. So I think that's a point that we need to address.
Correct.
Yes, yes. Economic impact.
And then I guess, yeah, and
Mhm.
I don't know what other major points we want to make in the letter. I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
Aline has written a pretty lengthy letter to folks that have, I mean, just does elaboration on some of these points.
Go
Also,
ahead, go ahead.
Yes, another big point is that in the last year, we have been really reaching out to Compton. We really have.
that's right.
We need to do that. We have been
We
sending
think
her every month. We have been sending her minutes, agenda, all the letters that we send everywhere. We send them to her. We invited her. The Oceano Beach Community Association invited her to come and take a tour of the beach with us. She has never answered. She ignored us, just like those people who went and do another council ignored us because we didn't agree with them, rather than engaging.
So keep it to the OAC, I think, not OBCA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
We've invited her to every OAC.
That's fine.
meeting, and
That's
it's
fine.
on the agenda.
The council has reached out several times, and she also was supposed to come and talk to us and say, hey, you people, what about this? What about that? That's trying to find a compromise. She just ignored us.
Well, so the fact is that she has not shown up to any meeting that we have invited her to. What would you
Right.
say? Is that fair? That's a fair objective statement?
Yes, that's a fact.
That's a fact. She's never showed up, period, to any of our meetings, even the ones we
She
didn't
ha-
invite her
she-
to.
there's mention that she did once before, quite a while ago. The minutes of the Napomo meeting show that she does attend that one relatively frequently. And if she doesn't, then some representative of hers does. So she has made it a point to not participate in our group for quite some time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that's by her choice, not by ours.
Yes.
So this division has been created by her and exacerbated by her and continued by her.
Yes.
To go back to what Charles was talking about on the staff report, there's the part that Charles talked about that's in some boxed sections. But if
Mhm.
you go to page 3, it says financial considerations.
Mhm.
And that seems a little murky to me because it says it will be covered by the associated department's annual general fund. Does that mean the planning department will be funding this? Which would be the only advisory council funded by the planning department and not the Board of Supervisors funds.
Mhm.
So I would like some clarification on that. That is so far outside the normal when their own bylaws that they've created and submitted say that the Board of Supervisors or the county in general would fund them. So that's murky and unclear. And as a ratepayer, I'd like to know where my dollars are going and who's paying it, which agency.
Yeah.
And what is the precedent if it's not the Board of Supervisors?
You're right. Excuse me. I says the Department of Planning and Building and County Council have reviewed this request. And
They
stuff.
do. Yeah, but the next line, the next section is the part I'm
Yeah.
concerned about.
Yeah, by the department's annual general fund support budget.
Associated department. I don't know what that means.
Mhm. Yeah, excuse me. I can see that there is another advisory council in Oceano, but its boundaries do not include the Oceano Dunes SVRA. We really need to. This is ridiculous. I mean, the boundaries of our jurisdiction is the District of Oceano, whatever that
Right.
includes.
Right, we have no jurisdiction over that.
No,
The county itself doesn't have jurisdiction over that.
well,
Well,
it does over La Grande Tract. Yes, because it's his property. Yes. Yeah.
so I think that they're just legalistically, they're redefining the boundaries of an advisory council.
To include their
Right, to
special
include
project.
Other things, right, yeah.
Yes.
You know, we're defined as the service boundaries of OCSD, basically.
Right.
So I mean, a lot of these points or things we're talking about would be arguments we'd have to make if they seriously consider, you know, I mean, I can't imagine the goal is to have 2 advisory councils. It's to create a new advisory council and get rid of us by
Mhm.
not funding us. Or I guess that the Board of Supervisors would have the authority, I think, given that they wrote the rules that made us possible to get rid of us for some cause. And that would, I would think they would have to show that we have done
Right.
a bad job, that we have not
Cause.
been following the bylaws and the rules and all of that. And of course, we have been. We're not perfect, but we've been doing a very, very good job. I'll say relative to my experience with previous iterations of the Oceano Advisory Council. And so,
We're doing as good of a job as we can when our direct supervisor refuses to communicate with us to tell us we're not doing a good job.
mhm,
How
Exactly.
else would we know we are or aren't?
Right.
We're doing what we believe to be our job.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, we need a due process. We need a due process. If they want to make another council, they need to show and prove a cause. Absolutely. That's what I meant at the beginning, not what we did wrong. What's the cause? And we need a due process. They need to listen to us, and they need to find out if the allegations that this group is making and that even Compton's is making, if they're true, that we don't represent the people, that we don't listen to the people, that we don't communicate. They need to give us due process. They need to listen to us. They cannot hide it into the consent agenda and get rid of us, of the council, us, of the council.
So this would be part of the, really kind of the opening where,
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
the opening.
the first ask is like, first of all, to pull this from the consent agenda because it deserves full transparency and public discussion. And
Yes.
then we don't want this approved. And here are some bullet point reasons why we don't want this approved. And that's, I don't think we need to do much more than that in the letter. And we'll be at the meeting, but if they choose to go ahead with it, then we've got all these other things to bring up. But it's like, don't even go here. I mean, this is the notion, the argument about the precedent setting, and now every other, group of people can come together in other communities for more advisory councils. The idea, what you were reading, Lucia, and coming together, everybody coming together in the advisory council. I'm not trying to write this in my head, but I mean, I think those are really important points to make right up front.
Can I make two other points?
Please, I'm taking notes.
Two other points, and they're related, are if we think of redistricting at the moment, this is either an attempt for the dominoes to be put in place for wherever we're redistricted to, for that supervisor to inherit a hand-selected, hand-curated Lynn Compton Advisory Council, even if she won't be our supervisor. Or when she loses to Jimmy Paulding, he will inherit a hand-selected, Lynn Compton favored advisory council if we're not changed in the redistricting. And I don't think that is fair on the eve of an election year to anyone who's coming in after Lynn either loses or we change due to redistricting.
That might
That
be a
should
good
be
thing.
for a different supervisor to make that determination.
Lucia?
Yes, so well, although I might feel the same way April does, however, I don't know really as a fact that Compton handpicked those people. She says she had even no idea that these things was happening. So I agree, that's probably what it is. I'm sure Miss Guyton, Miss Austin and Miss Compton have been talking to each other since Austin left the council. And it's not something, of course, that I would put in the letter or even mention, even though it might be true. But I don't know the political affiliations of these people. I don't really know that. But
we don't have to say handpicked. We can say a newly established agency.
Yes.
That potentially a different supervisor would inherit.
Yes.
That really should be theirs, just like the Supreme Court. If an opening comes up towards the end of one election, the discussion always arises of, is it that current term, administration's choice, or should it be the incoming administration's choice? Same concept.
Yes.
Yeah, we're almost like, it's like, should Royal Grande have two city councils? Should we have
Correct.
two boards of supervisors? You know,
And
Yes.
that's exactly how I thought about it. You know, as a resident, I'm not pleased with my current supervisor on a personal level, not about the OAC, but on a personal level. But that's what voting is for. But if I didn't win my vote, then do I just get to create a whole new supervisor position? No, that's not how the democratic process works.
No, and I'm very sad to say that it's this. I know this is very political. It is the same attitude of the people who assaulted the Capitol, of the people who say the elections are no good. They didn't
Okay.
like it. They don't
But-
like what's happening. Let's have a new election. Let's have a new president. Let's
That's
have a new thing.
Not gonna help the facts of this.
No, I know.
But something I think we should address on what you think. On several occasions, she has strongly implied that she does not care or much for us because we don't represent a cross section of Oceano, and that we are basically just an interest group.
Yes, very good. And now she's going to what? To fund an interest group? That's what it is.
So
That really is a
how
good.
is her group more of a cross section of Oceano when the majority of them are business owners and
Who don't live in Oceano.
some of them don't live in Oceano, you say? Do we
Yes.
know that for sure that one or two don't live in Oceano, right?
Oh, I know Adam doesn't live in Oceano, and I know Marios doesn't live in Oceano.
Okay, so that's enough.
2 out of 6, and that you require 5 according to their own bylaws.
Yeah.
And one of the 4 left owns 30 properties. How could they possibly vote if things come before the council, the advisory council, when they own property next to every other property in town? The concern of conflict of interest is great.
So yes, yeah, I believe we need to include that in the letter. They're not a more diverse group. They're more of a, all business owners, property owners.
And we're actually, ethnic wise, we are more diverse. Gender wise, we're more diverse. And even within the locations of where we all reside within Oceano,
We're
we're
more
all more diverse.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Oh, hi,
Hi,
Bonnie.
I really just wanted to add one thing, and that was something I just talked briefly to Dave Congleton, and I've heard this has been tried before up in Templeton, and it failed. So I tried Googling it. I didn't find out any information, but supposedly this kind of thing has been tried before. So I'll try to find somebody
mean
to
a
find out more about that, huh?
A coup?
when
A double advisory group in Templeton.
where did it
So
fail? When they brought it to the supervisors, or did it?
that's what I'm gathering, but I can't find
I
anything
will-
about it. If anybody
I'll
knows anybody in Templeton or wants to call any of the advisory group that's in Templeton or something like
Yes.
that, maybe find out.
I'll do some research on that. I know of another attempt as well that I will be doing some research on.
Okay, that's good. That's good information.
I would like you to notice, as I did in the bylaws of the new group, that they have reinstated what the current council has gotten rid of, which is nomination and appointment of members by the supervisor. That was a major item of disagreement and discussion before Miss Austin moved out. The new people and the new members, the council basically voted to change the bylaws because Miss Compton tried to keep out Charles Varney numerous times because of that clause in the bylaws that the members were to be vetted and appointed by the supervisor after they made the application for the council. But with the new bylaws, that was totally taken out. Now people can apply. The present board hears them and approves them, period. And to me, that's fairer and more democratic, and it shows more of the pulse of the community. But this new group, which caters to the supervisor, reinstated that clause, which is that the supervisor has the power to appoint members. And I remember when I tried to get into the T-bid, I applied for the tourist board. I was denied. I wasn't even acknowledging my application, but Compton told me to my face when I met her during her office hour. She said, "Why should I appoint people who don't work with me?" So what do we want? Do we want a community council to be appointed by the supervisor? Is that going to be fair, democratic, and is that going to really show the pulse of the community? I don't think so. I think the current council did very good at changing the bylaws. I think the current council really represents the reality of Oceano. And I think that really Miss Compton is out of touch with what's happening in Oceano right now.
Well, it's hard to be out of touch when you only speak to the same two people and never put your own soles on the dirt in Oceano.
Well, and if everything's to be believed, she doesn't want Oceano and she's trying to get rid of us out of her district. So,
which is my point of saying that this secondary council would still be her thumb on the scale
right.
of an area that she may no longer represent sooner than later.
I think that it's also very important around the around the notion that we're a special interest group, that we address that by showing the kinds of things that we're working on. And that's, I mean, it would be wonderful if James can get our website live, our new website, because it very clearly demonstrates the kind of like the vacation rental ordinance, the Pier Avenue redevelopment plan,
Curbs, gutter, sidewalks.
the curbs, gutter, sidewalks, and
the transportation,
Oh, yeah.
is low cog. Yeah.
right. SOCOG, and Cal Poly is, Cal Poly is going to be working with our community hugely over the next year with the Oceano Advisory Council on doing really literally probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of value of community research, needs assessments, planning, scenarios to support our community in making, good choices and seeing potential options. They're not going to want to work with two advisory councils or be caught up in a kind of a mess like this. It's ridiculous.
Do you guys recall at our last OAC meeting, the planning department employee, not Emmy, but the other one,
Johnny?
I kept picking up on her social cues and saying, I understand exactly what it is you're trying to express to us. And now, in hindsight, she was expressing to us that she was aware there was a second council coming down the pipeline, because even in this new one's correspondence, it says in May, we will be reaching out to the planning department to start setting up meetings in anticipation of this being approved.
Right.
So, and I kept saying, I understand what you're saying. So she was very clearly indicating that we did not have the whatever you want to call it, golden handshake, whatever, of our current supervisor. But apparently this other one does. And they take their direction from our supervisor.
Now, to go back to the meeting on Tuesday, okay, we will have a letter.
Just a second.
Wait,
So
let's
are we
finish the
about
letter.
on the points that we want to put in the letter? at this
Okay.
point, if we have enough from people to move ahead with a draft, that then will come out to everybody to review and add. And
Yeah.
is there anything else that we need to get on the list right now?
As an OAC member, no. As a resident, I have my own stuff I'm going to create.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think those are
Okay,
plenty of points.
Okay, I just wanted to, I'm then fine, I'm ready to move on.
Mention the fact, mention the fact that we had the forum for the elections, or that it's too much of a detail.
I don't think that's another way of an example of inclusivity.
Right, right. That's an example inclusivity. We did that. And we even though it is obvious right now that the SVRA is a huge issue that impacts our community, and everybody tried to keep their heads under the sand and tell us no, it has nothing to do with it. We were the only organization that allowed people to express their opinion locally. The county, the boss, the supervisor never had a meeting. They should be thankful that we had the community, that we had the forum for the community to come and talk about that, however controversial it was. Yes.
Okay, so I think we're done with this topic. Who want to motion about who's going to write it and when, or do we need to?
Well, I think we need some volunteers.
Well, you were taking notes. I nominate you to draft it, Charles.
So here's, I'm happy to,
Help out.
that and team up with somebody. The problem for me is that I have to meet with my oncologist tomorrow down in Los Angeles. And so I'm going to be pretty tied up on that. I mean, it's way down in Marina Del Rey. I got to do the 405, and so I'm leaving by about 9 a.m. I probably won't be home until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So I really won't be able to work on it. I can work on it some tonight after dinner.
Okay. Well, the email that I wrote, I think is kind of lengthy, and it kind of deals with some of these points.
Mhm.
I could
Yeah,
just
definitely.
elaborate on
Yes.
you pick the points that you would like to write about, Charles, and then then I'll do the ones.
That sounds,
Yeah.
so I can send you kind of a skeleton of these kind of
Mhm.
like main topics, and like a paragraph, the opening of, we need a paragraph on this and a paragraph on that, or this, or a couple of sentences, and kind of a sketch like that. And then you can kind of, I'll try and get that together. I will get that together before I leave tomorrow morning and send it to you, Aline. I mean, I get up pretty early.
Mhm.
And then you'll have that, and you can play around melding them together. And then if you think it's ready to send out tomorrow night, then send it out. If you and I need to work together some on Saturday morning before we send it out, I mean, I think that would still give us time to get feedback from everybody. So I don't, and we can just talk about that tomorrow. I mean, does that sound okay with other people?
Unless someone wants to do all the bookkeeping that I'm way behind on, sounds great.
No. Listen,
You would not want me to do that.
do a Word,
Yeah, you're right. My clients would not want you to do
do a
that.
Google document. Aline, after you get Charles and yours, do a Google Doc and send it around with us commenting, or even commenting, no editing, because if everybody start editing, it's going to be a disaster. And we can make comments.
Yeah.
And then we still have Saturday and Sunday
Mhm.
Monday.
and Monday. No,
Mhm.
Monday we want to send it out, really.
Yeah, we got to send it Monday.
I would really just like to make the recommendation, and when I look at it, this is how I will look at it, is to cut out the over emotional aspect of it.
Yeah.
Stick to the facts, stick to the pertinence of what the OAC is about and how, all our good points, obviously, but the least of, because you don't like us or because we don't hold your political view, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. I'm just saying that's how I'm going to edit it, viewing it as less emotional, more factual, and move it that direction. Because you can't lie, you can't say the facts aren't the facts. You can say, I didn't mean it that way, or you took it wrong when it's about emotion. But when you say these are the facts, well, those are the facts.
Right.
So that's all I wanted to add.
Okay.
Okay, so my question was and is, now let's go down to reality. Now, if a supervisor will have to say, I motion to pull this item out of the consent agenda, is that what's going to happen?
If it were to happen, that is how it would happen, yes,
Okay.
just like on any other meeting, yes.
Okay, but then even that will have to be voted on. So we need, so
No, one supervisor can pull something out of the consent agenda.
without the others voting on it?
Correct, correct.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you
All it
should.
takes is one supervisor to pull, say, I want.
That's all
to
it's
pull.
needed. Okay, then we know it will, because
Then we can just leave it at that?
yes, we leave it at that.
Okay.
Then, however, I would like to speak as so somebody should also read the letter. We need to think about this. We send the letter, but also we want to. Don't we want to read it? Don't we want to? I would like everyone to comment. We need to show up a lot
We
of
need
people.
to ask for it to be part of the agenda, just like an OCSD meeting. If we wrote a letter for or against fireworks, we would ask for it to be part of the agenda.
But we also want to read it. So if anybody's listening to the meeting for just for public record, just for and for
If that's how you want to spend your part of the 3 minutes, absolutely, you can do that.
so that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking you. Are we gonna decide to read this letter, or we just send it and nobody says anything? I would like to say something to comment in public comment.
So those are two different topics. Once it's pulled and then it's brought in for discussion, there has to be public comment allowed, right?
Okay.
It's now
Yes,
an agenda, it's on the agenda.
yes.
And so if we believe that it's important to read our letter, and I think that it is, because it is the summary statement of our collective mind. And it probably is going to take more than 3 minutes. So we would need a couple of people that wanted to volunteer to do that, to split it up. And then other comments as well. But we'll see how long the letter is.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Should we decide now, or we're gonna just leave it up to whatever, or we decide now that 2 people are gonna read the letter?
Okay. I think that that's a good idea. I
I
think-
think,
Yeah.
I like the fact of reading the letter.
Yes, we
Oh.
need to read the letter. 2 people need to be assigned to reading the letter. Absolutely. And then the other 3 people will be assigned to public comment, because each one of us has to speak. With my Italian accent, each one of us has to speak.
We might not need, we have 3 minutes. We might not need 2 people to read the letter.
Right. We may or we may not. And we also, hopefully we will have a lot of people at this meeting who want to
Right.
speak to this.
Exactly.
And Lean's doing a great job reaching out to people. We all need to be reaching out to people, activating our networks of people. And please, and asking them to please wait, come to the supervisors meeting and or write a letter or something.
Bear in mind, we're on our back foot because the VACO, whatever you want to call it, group has prepared for this.
Right.
We literally learned yesterday morning. So when you say, of course, people will want to speak out about this or on this item, bear in mind that the chances of the opposition having a lot of people speaking is much greater because they're preparing for this.
Right.
I will be taking my 3 minutes to speak as a resident.
Mhm.
Right.
So not
Good.
as an OAC member. My contribution as an OAC member is in that letter that I am happy to help sign, work on, draft, everything else submit.
Right.
But my time at the mic will be me as a representative of April, a tax-paying member of Oceano who does not feel that this is warranted and it's literally a waste of our dollars.
So if in terms of reading the letter, it might be from an organizational perspective appropriate for, this is just an idea, for Aline to be the lead spokeswoman. And then if
Yes.
there's additional minutes that are needed, then the vice chair can pick
Yes.
up and finish it off.
I believe you can also give someone your minutes. I know in some governmental organizations, you're allowed to give someone your minutes so that there's no break in the letter that Aline can say, or someone can say, I've given Aline my 3 minutes. And then when Aline starts, she technically has 6 minutes to do it. But
Wow.
whoever gave her those 3 minutes then doesn't get 3
Right.
minutes.
Right. I don't
Now-
think the board does that because I've never seen that happen.
No,
I
I don't know.
I think, okay, what April talks about happens all the time on real life meetings when people are present and they say, I'm here to speak, but I do not want to speak. She can speak, take my minutes. But on
Yes.
Zoom meeting has never happened. The commission has clearly stated there is no giving away minutes when it's on Zoom because you don't know if the person is present or not. But anyway, so I think that once we finish the letter, then we can rehearse it. If it takes more than 3 minutes, Charles will go. If it doesn't take more than 3 minutes, only Aline will do. But I think it's enough to decide tonight that yes, we will read it. Aline will start it, and if it's necessary, Charles will finish it. I also will speak as an Oceano resident. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah, just Lucia Casale Nuovo. I don't need to say anything because I want to add certain things to the letter. And I hope everybody, I hope Janice and Bonnie, and I hope everybody speaks. Yeah. And that's it.
Mhm. As soon as we end the meeting, I can eat and then get to work. Oh, Bonnie's hand is up.
Else, any other strategy that people think that we should, employ or?
Bonnie has
something
something.
else? Bonnie?
I just wonder if somebody can supply some basic, like a list of talking points to share, something you just share with people. If anybody has anything like that, that would be helpful. What you're
Charles,
sharing,
Yeah, we'll have something we can send around.
that'd be great.
yes.
Is there any meeting with, or I'm sorry, any additional press scheduled?
We expect the Tribune, Foltz is working on something and he says everybody expects something in the Tribune, yeah.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
Dave Congleton gonna do it?
Yeah.
You guys are they're on Monday. Oh, right. Aline, can you do it in the studio?
I think Dave sent
He
me
did, a confirmation.
Yeah, saying
Can you do the
changing.
studio at 5? Because he'd like at least one of you in the studio and
Yeah, I
Carol
think so, but I
can't.
think I'm pretty sure he sent me an emails changing dates and stuff, changing.
Oh,
Oh.
good.
I
So
have to look
Aline,
at it. He
Aline,
just
you're
sent
gonna,
an email just like 10 minutes ago.
who
Oh,
else is gonna be in the show?
He was probably asking you to be in the,
He wants you to be in it? That's what you said, Bonnie?
he's probably asking you if you can come to the studio.
Who, me personally?
No, Aline.
No, Aline.
Oh, yeah.
But we can all call in or use the
Exactly.
hotline or anything.
Oh, and I think we should, right?
Definitely.
Obviously. The only thing that makes it difficult is us with the most knowledge gets a, 30-second, 1-minute phone call to talk about a topic that Aline then really needs to expand on with her airtime. 'cause
Well,
we
Aline
won't
and
be
Charles are
allowed to
doing it.
hang out.
Aline and Charles are doing it.
Well, I hope I can do it then.
Hopefully, if he's in,
Yeah.
but he can't, it'd be hard for him to get for the studio. So Congleton needs at least one of you in the studio.
I'll be at the studio.
Good.
Another way to comment or kind of expand things is you can go into the New Times article and make comments on it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
I know Cynthia did already. I haven't seen it since then.
It's also plenty of time to get a letter into the Tribune.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100 words, about like, hey, this, something horrible happening in Oceano.
And also Cal Coast News, anybody can write an opinion piece. She'll
Yeah.
put it in.
I'm gonna try write a letter to the editor this weekend. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know if anything else we can do. Right?
Right. This is going to be the beginning of a big hullabaloo. I mean, we're just kind of lighting the fuse here, I
This
think.
is one more example of how the dunes is politicized and commercialized and has created and continues to create a huge chasm, rift, schism, division in our community that is exacerbated by our very own supervisor by allowing it to grow, not just fester or be there, but she's actively participating in the divisiveness.
Mhm.
And Oceano is too small for this. It's too small. We need to be coming together now more than ever with the change that we have before us.
Right.
so
There's so much to
disheartened.
focus on that to do good together in our community now, and so many new opportunities and options. And I mean, I'm really grateful to be part of this group that understands that and sees the bigger picture.
And funny enough, we don't all agree on stuff.
But we don't all agree on stuff, of course not. But
And that's all right, because we all want the best for
The
Oceano,
best
right?
for Oceano, right? We all talk to different people. I know people who want the dunes to be ridden on, and I know people who don't.
Yeah. And I have some friends that would want it to stay the same.
Yeah,
We just don't talk about that because
Right.
we agree.
exactly.
Don't go there.
But my argument always is when 24th Street and Paso Robles Street look like Highway 1 and Pier Avenue with the sidewalks and the beautiful landscaping, then let's talk. But until then, who's over here helping the OBCA clean up alleyways? I don't see Marios over here. I
No.
don't see Adam over here. I don't see Linda over here. I don't see Lynn
That's a
Colton
great
over here.
point.
The
Mhm.
community is over here.
And our community has been ignored and abandoned.
For decades, unless you're certain people.
I'm going to think that they're going to argue, a couple of them, that they're business owners and they employ people that live here. People have, their families live here and they're giving employment to numerous people, and that's why they are so important. Of course, the numerous people that they're giving employment to also have kids in our school that qualify for a free lunch because they don't make enough money.
Right.
Because we're disadvantaged.
So they're working at a restaurant, but their kids can't, still need
These people-
supplemental
Okay,
lunch.
These people,
And
these
that,
people need to come. These people need to come and to the council. The
right,
people-
exactly. They
The
don't need to create
employees,
another
not the
council.
boss, not the employers, those employees, those workers, and tell us how much are they making really to drive the tow truck on the beach? How much are they really making to pump
Right.
air in people's, in people's tires?
Or the people who work in Oceano that make 6 figures because the ratepayers pay their salaries through the OCSD.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No.
Okay, so we're at like 5:07, and I know,
We have
I don't
another
think we have any
meeting.
more business. I know Luciani would appreciate at least a 15-minute break between meetings.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, does anyone want a motion to adjourn?
I'll move, we adjourn.
Second?
Before we
Aye.
adjourn, I need a link to the other meeting. I don't have one.
Okay, I will send it to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for showing up, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.